Let's chat. It's hard. You want to talk? I know, that's disappointing. Sit back. Let's work this out. How's it going? What are we doing here? Where are you going? Hey there. Wow. It's not always easy. It's amazing if you think about it. Let's think about this. Strange. I have some thoughts about that. Life is hard. Trauma bonded.
I love my man. He doesn't give me any attention. Okay, well, maybe you should get involved in some of his hobbies. What are his hobbies? Well, he smokes crack. Okay, done. No, that's not it.
No.
No. Was that insensitive of me?
We've been playing pickleball. I'm just saying that's one that would be a good one. I'm just throwing that out there. That's been top of mind for me. I'm sorry. That's a hobby that I've been really enjoying. That would be a healthy one.
Can I say this without sounding too trite? My mood and attitude has infinitely changed because of 3 things, I think, that I did this year. 1 is I got pets.
Okay.
2 is I started doing Orange Theory with your wife.
Okay. Mm-hmm.
And 3
Third and the best one.
is pickleball.
Yes.
Do you feel like your mood's changed?
So much. Like I'm already always in a good mood already, but now pickleball?
I'm always in a bad mood.
I know.
Have you noticed that I've been more lively?
Weird.
Yeah.
You know?
And I feel like no one wants to hear these stupid ass fucking answers.
It's really top of mind. So sorry. We were just talking about crack.
Welcome to Trauma Bonded. I'm Elly Westberg here with Therese Garcia.
Hello.
And today we're discussing episode 369 of the podcast. This is actually happening. What if you lit yourself on fire? A brief summary. Suffering a life of struggle and addiction in the wake of early childhood abuse, a woman desperate for a dramatic change douses herself in gasoline and strikes a lighter. And full disclosure, I work for this. Is actually, it's hard to be jovial after saying something like that, isn't it?
So I have to be jovial.
I do kind of go into like, oh, full disclosure. Ooh, hey, she lit herself on fire. And by the way, I work for the show. And it's a weird term. Yeah. T doesn't work on the show, but she does have a job. She comes in fresh, and this show, Trauma/Bonded, is for the listeners, a space where we can talk about each episode, digest it, and reflect on it with empathy and also a bit of levity. We try. That's Trauma Bonded. T, what stuck out to you is the heart of Crystal's story.
Thank you, Elly. I went with one word today for the heart, and that word is temper. Growing up, she was tempered by her own anger and pain. Then, the fire that consumed her, scarred and disfigured her, now becomes a heat she uses to temper her own life. She now tempers and shapes herself into something stronger and more resilient. Like metal tempered, she's transformed.
My heart of the story is I'll never forget Crystal's answer when I asked her in the pre-interview why she did it. It was just not an answer that I was expecting at all. And it's said in the episode, but the way she says, because I wanted things to change. Like when you think about a radical way of doing things differently, that's not the first thing that springs to mind. I don't want to say that what she did was good. You know, obviously dousing yourself in gas and lighting striking a lighter is a terrible idea, and don't do it. Okay. I'm not saying that anyone should do that. I'm not advocating for that pathway. But what I do admire about her is that she recognized that she did have to have a radical departure from the norm to really change up where she was in her life. Going through all of that struggle, surviving it, coming out on the end of it, what we can recognize clearly from Crystal's story is that she has broken a generational cycle. Like, she really, truly has done the work to do that. And it's awesome. It was a radical way to do it. It's not a recommended way to do it, but that radical action did make a way where there was no way. I believe that she always had it in her. It's clear when she talks about her life that she always had a sense of what was right and wrong or good and bad, etc. And she really wanted to live a life of positivity and success. Like she knew what she wanted. She took a horrible way to get there. But I'm just so endlessly impressed with her. She's gone through the hardest shit imaginable and come out on the other side having grown and learned and changed. I mean, I feel like this is an obvious thing to say, but I'm going to say it. She quite literally is a phoenix rising from the ashes, right? Again, do not recommend this route. I do not recommend it. Don't douse yourself in gas and fire. Well, the first thing that stuck out to me as interesting in the episode to talk about is, and super sad, is her dad being killed on the highway. Be careful on the highway, y'all. But it was by a drunk driver. You can't ever account for drunk drivers, good luck out there. But I did find it interesting when she was too young to really understand, but she has this stark memory of people being really upset. And when she was told daddy went to heaven, that really confused her because in her young logic, which actually makes quite a lot of sense, then why are we all so sad if heaven's such a great place,
That's not
right?
right over there. Shouldn't we be happy?
Like she was already a little bit of a rebel at 3 years old,
Didn't
you
you
know?
say what you're saying is how you're reacting is the opposite of what you're saying.
Exactly. Exactly.
At 2.5, she can already identify.
No, she was already so astute in understanding like how the way we approach these subjects don't make any sense. Like well, it's also a nuanced way of looking at things, right? Like we can be sad that they're gone from us on this earth, but really, really happy that they're living eternity in heaven.
Yeah, you can have two things.
But a 2-year-old is gonna just be like straight real logic in the moment.
I thought she was just identifying the hypocrisy of religion.
Oh,
Good for you. That's what I thought.
yes, agreed. Let's talk about what goes on in the house stays in the house. What a damaging fucking message. And this is a generational one. It's pervasive in households today. It's pervasive in households across the world today. This is a real thing. We hide what happens in a house. You know what you're usually hiding? What you're usually protecting is abusers, and you're hiding abuse. That's usually what is protected in a house. And it's such an antiquated idea, but it is really pervasive because it stands behind this ideology, or it pays homage to the idea that we have to be perfectly presentable for society to accept us. And that's really important to a lot of people.
And I think even in modern day now, it still is. With social media, it's a little bit even more out there. Like, let's put out this perfect family.
This curated image of what it's like. And we have seen this, like that Ruby Frankie, wasn't that the woman that did she was the Mormon mom podcast, and all this abuse and neglect was happening inside the house.
I only saw a trailer for that, but it's super disturbing.
Yeah. It's bizarre to me because as much as we learn about shining light in dark places, like these ideas still exist. And honestly, I'm going to say it again. I think these ideas continue to exist because abusers have to be protected. And so abusers are going to keep saying that same shit. That whatever happens in this house stays in this house. That's always something an abuser says. We don't have to live like this. And if you're in a house where things are happening that shouldn't be happening, and you're being told that whatever happens in this house stays in this house, you need to find an adult that you trust and tell someone about what's happening. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just scary, right?
I know.
Because you don't know about the repercussions.
But we do know, though, that that kind of mentality is usually used to cover for abusers.
Yes, you
Yeah.
just have to make sure that you're
You have a way out.
covered.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At 9 years old, she's molested by her cousin, and this is pervasive for 4 years of her life. It sounds like he threatened her, he cast shame on her, and it caused her to be quiet and not tell anyone. And this her having to deal with that kind of abuse, it really did lay the groundwork for so much self-hatred that she faces later on in life. "Hey, mom, you're out running errands, you're not buying food or, like, I don't know, doing anything else.
Like,
What are you doing?" So I recently binged a lot of Intervention, just, like, kind of had it on in the background, like, newer seasons. They're up to, like, seasons, like, 23, 24,
oh,
and junkies get around, drug dealers get around. We've talked about this before. Like, if you could harness the focus and will of a junkie into, like, an actual job, they could be unstoppable.
the determination.
The determination, the motivation of getting high is so strong. When she said that, like, "I got this mom running around that also doesn't take care of her kids or have food in the house or have a job, but yet she's constantly busy." That's definitely the sign of a junkie/dealer. Did you have anything you wanted to say about her mom?
Well, it's just too young for her to be taking care of her brothers at 10 years old. It's too much responsibility. She shouldn't be doing it.
And even back then, Crystal was speaking truth to her mom. "These
Mhm.
aren't my kids.
Yeah.
You have these kids. Why am I being asked to raise these kids? Why don't you have food in this house? How am I supposed to take care of these kids when there's no food in the house?" Like, I feel like Crystal has always had this,
Yeah.
like, keen awareness of how things are supposed to be about her, and she speaks it out loud,
Yeah.
and someone like her mom who clearly does not like being she doesn't like truth being spoken to her,
Yeah.
especially when it indicts her. She's just gonna, like, shut it down, poo-poo it.
Yeah. And I'm glad you say that she's speaking truth because the way that she talked about it, I guess she was told that she was being defiant, right? Or just being a rebel or something, but she's actually speaking truth.
Yeah. I think generationally, when older people are spoken to in truth by younger people, that's their usual swat down of it.
Yeah.
"How dare you speak to me like that? You don't know who you are, blah, blah." But that's just them recognizing that there is truth being spoken to them, and they're not willing to face it.
Yeah, I didn't really like the way that she was describing herself as egotistical and overconfident. I think those were the words that her mom was using, right?
Ooh, that's good tea.
Right?
I
I
think
think
you're probably right.
yeah. I was like, "No, you're right on. You're exactly where you should have been,"
Yeah.
you know?
And I bet her mom she doesn't say this, but I bet her mom probably had a jealousy about her beauty
Yeah.
if it was that apparent, and so her mom is gonna be that much more extra critical back to her, and this poor girl, her first suicide attempt is at 13. She's got this friend at school that also is being molested by the cousin. And basically, they both tell on him, and her fear, which did come to fruition, is that she was gonna be chastised for telling the truth because, again, what happens in the house stays in the house.
And she did.
And yeah, her mom was pissed at her.
"Why didn't you tell me?"
Yeah. Or, "Why didn't you warn me so that the authorities didn't come to my house and
Oh,
discover my
right.
grow operation?" You know? Everything's, like, just what is the word? It's not projection, it's like, just always, like, throwing the blame on like
Scapegoating or
yeah,
something, yeah.
scapegoating, it's just, like, constantly, like, "I've never done anything wrong. It's
I'm just
always
trying to
you."
take care of you guys. If I have to break the law, I have to break the law, but it's you.
Yeah,
You're the one.
and it's so infuriating that nothing, nada, is done to the abuser. And Crystal was pregnant at 15 by a 20-year-old, scum.
And that's just like thrown out there like it's all good. Is that fine?
Mm-mm.
What's going on there? Why isn't he?
Well, he's a user. She even puts it together herself, like, he knows that he can use her because she's got some money in her pocket
But
from
isn't that illegal? I mean,
Oh, yeah.
like it's clear that because she got pregnant by him that they have now had sex.
Yeah.
So how does that work?
Oh.
Okay. I thought because, legal stuff.
Mm.
No. Okay.
And she has an allegiance to this guy because he's actually stepped up to her abuser. So she thinks of him as a protector, even though eventually, once the money runs out, once the thrill of it all is over, he's abusive. He gives her STDs. He cheats on her. She starts smoking crack with him at 17.
Just for attention, the attention with him.
Think about how much crack you have to smoke to spend $35,000 in 6 months. Crack is a cheap drug, y'all.
Yeah, that's a lot.
That's a lot of crack to get through in 6 months. They went through $35,000 in 6 months.
How are you not dead at that point?
So there's this weird episode where she gets in a fight with her boyfriend. She fought back and she's arrested and she spends 3 weeks in jail and she's being indicted on, like, murder or something.
Attempted.
And I'm assuming the charges just got dropped because now she just moves to Montana. We don't really hear about it again.
I'm assuming so.
Yeah.
But that's definitely the end of that, right? I mean, end of that relationship. Oh, no, it wasn't. It wasn't the end of that relationship. They kept going.
No, he moved up to Montana and they tried again.
Let me tell you, and we've talked about this, right, Ellie?
Yeah.
It's not moving to Montana that's gonna fix that situation, right?
Because Crystal moves around a lot.
Yeah, and it's not moving to LA and back to Alaska and over to Albuquerque and back going to Montana.
However,
Yes.
but when she does move to
Yes.
Oklahoma,
Yeah.
and we're going to get to that.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
and
That does end up being a good
that is
move.
deeper though than just a move.
It's not just the move.
It's not just the move.
There's other changes that have been made there.
She gets this new boyfriend. He's like Mormon, second pregnancy. This is what I keep realizing about Crystal. Like all throughout her story, she's talking about really active attempts to be clean. Like she wants to be clean. When she moves in with the Mormons, she's forced to be sober, and so she is. She gets diagnosed with Hashimoto's disease.
Research alert.
So, from what I've gleaned, it is a autoimmune disease. It's where the body attacks the thyroid gland, leading to an underactive thyroid, and that's where the symptoms are gonna show up, like weight gain, etcetera. I'd never heard of it before, had you?
No.
When she's 31, she has her second suicide attempt. And this is where she's really, like, sinking to the lowest, lowest lows. They get evicted from their house of 10 years. Her kids are off with her Mormon friends. I mean, she's really got a varied community around her, doesn't she? And it's back to Alaska. Guess what? The cousin's still there. And he's gonna show up at family barbecues, be like, hey, cuz.
Don't they know? The
Uh,
family knows about all this that has happened, right? It's like public now.
right? It's weird.
And he's over here BBQing.
Have you tried the deviled eggs, cuz? Like, get the fuck away from me, dude.
I know.
And of course, his dad is the chief. This is like a typical pastor's kid, you know what I mean? Typical PK.
Very touchable.
Untouchable. Worst kids in the
Keeps
world.
going with it too. Just owns it.
Just
It's totally fine with it. Like at that point, you're like, maybe I'll stop. And it's a little scary, actually, that maybe he's continued.
oh, it doesn't sound like he's ever learned a lesson about touching people he shouldn't be touching.
Yeah.
He's an abuser and a molester, and no one ever stops him. I mean, I don't know if he's still alive, but I'm still mad that Crystal thanked him for saving her. We're not there yet, but we will get there. You know, so at this point in her life, like Crystal's she's homeless. That's how she characterizes it. But the housing instability, it compounds the drug use, you lose your kids. So you don't have a home, you don't have a kid, you don't have kids, you lost your job. And instead of going, "Oh, drugs are bad, I'm gonna pull back from these things," the opposite happens. "Okay, I've lost everything. I'm gonna lean into the drug use that much harder," which makes sense in my brain as
Yep.
well. And as she puts it, she kind of became her mother. I wrote this in my notes, like, she's trying, man. Like, she really legitimately fights for her whole life. She really does try. She's trying so hard. So finally we get to the inciting incident of this whole story. She's 36. She's just gone on a drug binge. She wakes up from the drug binge and looks around her. And if you've ever been on any kind of binge, I've never been on a drug binge per se, but I've definitely tied one on alcohol wise for a vacation or a weekend or a few days. And those moments when you're kind of coming to and taking stock of all of the problems that you left behind that still loom when you get sober is, I mean, at least with alcohol, it's like a depressant anyway. So you're as low can be, and you're taking stock of everything. And I've been low. I've never been as low as Crystal has been. To wake up in a camper that has no flooring, that has no ceiling, that has no power, that has no water, that is rampant with mice. She's lost her kids. She's lost her partners. She doesn't have relationships with anyone else. She doesn't have a job. She's lost her education was for naught. Just to wake up, the drugs are gone, the drugs have been spent, and there's nothing now. There's nothing. She is literally rock bottom, and then to compound that rock bottom, her childhood abuser shows up at her dilapidated, sad home and wants to bother her. This is the state of mind that she's in when she decides to do the act that she does. She's thinking, how is this ever gonna change? The pile of problems is too deep, it's too insurmountable. I can't even get rid of this fucking molester from my childhood. What can I do? And, you're listing all these things that are terrible, and you also don't feel good. Like, you don't feel good in your body.
Yeah.
You're rock bottom, your abuser shows up, you think, "This will never get better." This section of the story was really, really upsetting. The way she describes it,
Yeah.
the pouring
It's
that
like every second
ugh,
he's able to describe, yeah.
what does she call it?
The ga the gassy?
Yeah, it's
Is it chainsaw?
her chainsaw gas. I feel like this is for people that live in remote areas. Do you have chainsaw gas, T?
I don't, but maybe I would have a chainsaw.
I mean, it's fascinating to know that she doesn't have running water or power, but she does have her chainsaw gas. And she looks over, and in this moment, she decides to pour it over her body. She talks about the feeling of it being cold, the taste of it on her lips. She pulls out a lighter. She just all she wants is for things to change. Again, this is such a radical way to do that. Not advisable. But this is how desperate she was. She strikes the lighter, it doesn't light.
So this part reminded me actually of Grizzly Bear.
Yeah,
Remember when he was about to kill himself and the gun didn't
really jammed.
it got jammed
Yeah.
and it gave him a second and that's when he was like, "Whoa." And that was all it took for him to realize he was not supposed to be doing that, right?
Mhm.
So he stopped and continued on, right? Fought for his life, right? And this is also the time, just this like millisecond when she made the choice to strike it again.
Like, the way she talks about the universe at the end, you could say that first strike was the universe trying to save her,
Yeah.
and she just went, "No."
No. Yeah.
And she strikes it again.
And she gets emotional.
Yeah.
You can hear it in her voice.
I mean, listening to this it's so devastating. It's the pain, the defeat, the impulsive act.
And an instant regret.
It's desperation.
Yeah.
And clearly there's no plan here. 'Cause remember, she's at a place that has no running water. They don't have self-service. So it's not like she thought, "Well, I'll just, like, do this little thing, and it'll be dramatic, and then, like,
Is to end.
to end her life," right?
That's the plan.
What a miracle or luck or whatever it is that rain had fallen in this tote, this bin
Yeah.
with clothes in it, because that's a really great way to put out a fire,
Yeah.
actually, is to because you can smother a fire with clothes easier, actually, than water. I mean, if that tote with those wet clothes hadn't have been there, she probably would've just perished after who knows what would have happened. I mean, it's just crazy to me
She
to
was so close to death.
yeah.
And she was on fire for less than 2 minutes. So if it was seconds more.
And even though he hesitated, her cousin abuser did put the fire out on her and took her to his father's or her grandfather's, I don't remember.
Uncles.
She got airlifted out, and the people around her are convinced that there's no way she would do this on her own, so she's treated as a Jane Doe because I think that the fear is that someone is after her, and then she talks about this moment where she had to say out loud that she did it to herself, and to see the heartbreak in her mom's eyes was, especially tough for her. When she does this to herself, I think surface-wise, she's just thinking, "If I burn away my good looks, I don't have to endure the harassment from my abuser anymore." Right? Maybe just, like,
Oh,
baseline?
yeah. Yeah, yeah.
Deeper than that, I think that she did want to end her life
Yeah.
on some level.
Yeah.
Again, it's what we talked about before. When you list this pile of problems that seem inescapable, you're trying to make a way where there is no way. And it's a radical departure from any other way to do it. You know, this recovery bit that she talks about, how she's so mad that they kept her alive. And this next part hit me really hard, where she talks about how she felt like a failure for not dying. Oh, one other thing I failed at. I set myself on fire and I still couldn't kill myself. That she didn't feel worthy of the medical care and the skill that it took from her medical team, from her burn team to fix her, to keep her going. These are the deepest wounds of self-hate. And it makes me so sad. One, because that she or anyone else could feel that way ever about themselves, but two, that I probably would also feel that way. Like, that whole idea of being a burden on other people is, like, my biggest fear. I can't imagine being that way. I think that's what's kind of motivated me trying to get in shape in my later life, because I see that immobility is coming or the old age is coming, and yeah, that's my greatest fear. Honestly, my greatest fear is to be a burden on someone else.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah, that would be really difficult, which is weird because not to, and I don't know, we want to cut this, but my mom loves going to the hospital
Yeah,
and loves
being cared for.
being cared for in that way.
Yeah.
And I'm just always like, oh my God.
Well, I think what your mom's getting from it is if these people are tending to me, I can't die.
She's been that way for like 20 years.
Yes. Yes.
I think she has. This is a whole different way. That maybe I should go to therapy for myself, but
We're getting our therapy on the pickleball court,
yeah, we are. But yeah, she's working
which
through
I do have
something.
a pickleball anecdote coming
Oh,
up.
good, good. But yeah, she's
Um,
working through something, and I'm quite the opposite.
yeah.
I do not want to be going to the hospital every 3 weeks for 20 years
You.
when I'm in my 60s.
Mm-mm.
So I'm also glad that I'm getting more active.
Mhm. And, you know, and her negative self-talk is, I'm a homeless drug addict. Why are you wasting all of this talent and knowledge and skill and time and effort on a wasted cause? As soon as I get healthy and get out of here, I'm gonna go use. Why are you bothering with me? Like that's what she's thinking deeply. And that's why she lashes out so hard at her burn team. I love her so much. She's so self-aware. She can look back and see exactly why she was acting that way. And she takes responsibility for it. She takes accountability for it. When she's in recovery, she has tons of illnesses, which sound terrible. I didn't really write them down, but it's a lot of like necrotic this and neurosis that and isses and icks and
Well,
ugh.
part of it too is part of her care, along with being a burden, is it's bringing up all these triggering memories about being touched,
Yes.
which she hates because, all the abuse. You can't avoid it. And then I was struck by the 3 hours a day wound care,
Wound care, dude.
scrubbing skin of the necrotic tissue, which sounds she didn't really talk about it, but that probably hurts, right?
Dude. 3 hours of them scrubbing your old dead flesh off you.
That hurts, right?
Sounds painful.
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I mean, the recovery is mental, for sure. But I wanna point out that the way that she can talk about the shame that she feels now about how she treated her burn team is a bright light that she has changed. You know,
Yeah.
when you look back on something and feel bad about it, feel shame about it, whatever, that just means that you've changed, and that's a wonderful thing. We get really down on ourselves because we feel bad about those ways that we've acted, but, you know, you can always ask for forgiveness. I think people are so much more receptive to hearing your sorries than you even realize, you know, for people to take accountability or responsibility for their actions. It goes a very long way. And Crystal does that through and through and through. And it sounds like she had therapy daily. A therapist came into her daily, kept telling her, it'll get better. And she's just thinking, what? No. Um, this made me so sad. After 5 months, she's released, and she has to go back to her dirty, chaotic, druggy
Yeah.
mother's house.
Not good.
What a setup for failure.
Yeah.
You're in this very clinical, clean, pristine
People care about you,
environment.
keep you healthy.
Yeah, everything's taken care of. No one lets messes go. There's no chaos. There's no fighting. And now she's gotta go to this home and be in her mother's room and have to deal with this shit. I just ugh. That was such a visceral moment for me. I, like, sunk into myself, like, "Oh, I can imagine."
And mom's being mean about it.
And mom's a bitch about it.
Yeah. You did this to yourself. It's like, I know that. Thanks. Thanks for the kind words, mom.
And her first 2 years, her eyes are stitched nearly closed.
Yeah.
And then she talks about her little ears as being her little chicharrones.
I know, chicharron.
She's so funny. She's she really does have a good sense of humor. And it's ironic that she is now beating herself up about how she looks when this is the outcome that she ultimately desired in that very chaotic, very impulsive moment where she set herself on fire. You know, she got exactly what she asked for. She is damaged, marred, disfigured, That's exactly what she wanted, she thought. Can you imagine being out in public and asking
I know.
someone,
Why? Who does that? Hey, what's up with your face? Fuck you,
"Why is your
number
face like
one.
that?
Why is your face like
Why is your
that?
face like—"
Why is your face like that? I have a reason. You don't. How about that? I like her answer,
Yeah.
by the way.
Well, I set myself on fire.
I tried to kill myself and set myself on fire.
Yeah. That's
You're badass, Crystal. I love
I know.
because fuck you for asking, number
Yeah,
one.
you wanna know? There's straight dope.
Well, I mean, that's the truth.
Mhm. And it just sucks because it's wasted on people that aren't actually curious.
Yeah, they're just
Like, I would see her maybe in public and be curious in my mind, like, I wonder what happened, but I would never be so rude as to ask. But, like, if she did actually tell me, I'd be like, "Can we go off to the side and talk about this?" Like, I wanna know more. Again, I'm not supporting setting yourself on fire, but it
you've
was
said quite a few
it
times.
was a brave, radical act. It was. She does fall into drug use again. It sounds like she's so afflicted with—
Easy to fall into when you mention it and mom hands it over to you.
yeah. Yeah, if I would stay with my mom, there's nothing that—
Yeah, your mom's not gonna be like, okay, here's your.
"I'll have you some gin." "No, you can't have any gin."
Yeah, she's not gonna give you.
She's not gonna walk through the living room smoking a meth pipe.
Yeah,
"Mom, give me the pipe."
I mean, your mom might have beer in the house, but she's not actually gonna give you the beer.
No, absolutely not.
She'd be like, no, bitch, that's bad for you right now.
Yeah, no. Okay.
No, but Crystal's mom did.
Well, it sounds like Crystal's mom has a lot of trauma of her own that she
Yeah.
needs to work out. Crystal's trying to fill her pain med prescription and gets tested, and guess what? She's got meth, and she says, I mean, this is such an awkward conversation, like, "I got it from my mom," and they gotta pull the mom in and yell at her too.
Mom doesn't care. Like, it doesn't affect mom like it affects Crystal, though.
What do you
Crystal has to deal with the pain now.
I mean, what do you think about that they denied her pain meds?
I mean, it's probably like a legal thing.
Yeah,
They can't give it to her now. And maybe she wasn't aware of it or something, but
it seems cruel.
it's really cruel. But they might not be legally able to do it.
Yeah,
And then mom doesn't have to deal with any consequences, but Crystal does.
yeah,
All mom had to do was be like, no, sorry, can walk away, you know?
yeah.
I hate that. Like, does it have to be meth? Like, here's a pod gummy, you know? You know what I'm saying?
It feels like they always do jump to meth really
Like,
quickly.
can it be, you know what I'm saying? Like a little CBD or something? Let's see if that works first.
I
Then
I feel really lucky in my life that I've never risen above
pot.
pot. I mean, I know that if someone handed me a meth pipe and I had a hit of it, I'd probably be like, I am giving up the rest of my life. I know how my personality is.
They'd be like, all right, this is it. Just meth and pickleball, meth and pickleball.
And my cats.
We're already getting up at 5 in the morning to play pickleball. It's like, now I could play pickleball all day long, 24 hours a day.
Come on, T, there's lights on the court. Let's go. Hit the spike.
It's a good thing. It's a good thing we haven't done any of that.
So a keep the peace order is often referred to as a peace order, is a court order designed to prevent someone from engaging in harmful or threatening behavior.
Research alert.
Had you ever heard of a keep the peace order?
I had not, but now I'm mad at mom again.
Yeah, what a bitch.
Keep the peace for her entire childhood would have been nice.
Yeah, give her some peace. How about that? Piece of peace.
I'll give you a piece of this piece.
I mean, her mom takes no accountability ever, ever, ever,
Ever.
ever.
She just hangs up the phone.
She can't even hear the truth being spoken to her.
And she
about-
doesn't even have teacher on ears.
Crystal moves into her aunt's house. She keeps using, and finally, this friend, Crystal has a lot of friends in a lot of places,
I wonder if an LDS friend.
offers her help in Oklahoma. She quits drugs and alcohol cold turkey.
So this is a good example of when you do move and it works. It only works when you move to Oklahoma, I guess.
No, that's definitely not
Gonna-
true.
I'm not going to try it.
I think what the the thing for her that worked here is that, and she says it herself, is that she needed a safe place to rehab herself. I think it's so important to have a safe place, especially a safe place outside of your usual people, outside of your usual pla like, I think having a safe place to retreat to in life in general is so important. The way we talk about the housed and unhoused in this country or in this world, in this timeline, is not fair at all. Us housed people, I don't think we have the first fucking clue about how hard it is to live your day-to-day life in unhoused conditions. Truly. And the unhoused that are facing addiction, I think it's just compounded by having to live rough, live on the streets. Like, this is it's a way to escape. You have to have, like, a soft landing pad to really fully lean into recovery. I really believe that. We cannot underestimate how much a clean, comfy, safe, warm place makes a difference in our daily lives. I'm endlessly grateful to sit in a chair, to lie down in my bed, to turn on a light, to be able to look at my cats, to be able to look at my plants.
Have a functioning bathroom.
An ice maker, a washing machine, a toilet paper.
Clothes. Shoes.
And I'm saying this to myself as much as I am to everyone else. Walk through your house and be grateful for the incredible wealth that you have. Whether you're what you perceive to be wealthy or not, if you have a house with
A
stuff
roof.
in it, furniture, and a fridge and power, you are wealthy. If you have a home, you are wealthy. I believe that. Stories like this, like, they just reinforce to me, like, when I get all in my head about, like, "You're not where you're supposed to be at this age in your life," like, kind of the comparative thing, like, or thinking about what society thinks about me, all of that stuff. Fuck all that stuff. Fuck all that stuff. I am so grateful that I have a home, and you can be in the worst fit of your life, having the worst time. If you have a place, if you can go home, imagine having a crisis and having nowhere to go. I'm grateful today for having a home. That's how I feel about this episode. Sorry, T, I talked a long time about that. Do you have any
No, I love home. I love home.
right?
She doesn't have, and a safe home where the people in your home are safe to you as well. Grateful for that. She rarely has a safe home,
Yeah.
and I'm grateful for all that.
Yeah,
So,
absolutely. A home of peace, a home of happiness. I walk into your home,
you just walk right in.
I
She
am
just walks right in,
well,
right? And scares us.
she gave me a code, so
Yeah.
I use
She
it.
scares us all. We're just sitting here and hi. I'm like, oh my God.
Good morning.
She just walks
Who
in,
wants to play pickleball?
like, yay. Yeah. But yeah. And I love that, by the way. That I love it's a whole neighbor thing. But besides that, safe home. I love that.
It's so funny. I was just thinking, like, how would I feel about giving you the same privilege to
I
my
know. What's
home?
up with that? Why can't I just go into your home? She doesn't let me, by the way. She's like, oh yeah, come over. One kid. Just one kid is fine. At a time, please.
The cats are scared. Okay. So Crystal has forgiven herself, but her family is not, because her mom can't be honest about anything. And her mom, as you said earlier, hangs up on her when Crystal brings up things that are hard to talk about. Fine, fuck her. Crystal has people in her life saying it's hard to look at you. I've already grieved you. You're dead to me already. You're a ghost to me. Fuck.
That's insane.
And she herself has said that she had to grieve a past version of herself. And she really does like herself today. She says that she was beautiful, but she had an ugly heart. And now she's humble and more comfortable with nothing left to prove. And she finally has this acceptance that all of that medical skill and compassion that was used on her, that she was worthy of it. And that's such a strong realization, I think, to come to. Ooh, when she talks about how I mean, have you ever thought about skin grafts, how they don't move, you know? They're
No.
like plaster in a way,
Yeah.
like, our organ of skin, it moves with us, it's fluid, but when you have a skin graft, it's this, like, hard section, and when it's, like, all over you,
Yeah.
as she puts it, it's like having a pair of shoes that are a size too small, like, you
It
can't
doesn't
stretch.
spread,
Yeah.
doesn't stretch. Yeah. Ugh. You're like not in your own skin. I mean, it feels uncomfortable.
Yeah, you're literally not in your own skin, yeah. I love how she talked about how she had to gain a vocabulary to be able to talk about her life and what she's been through. And I will say this, y'all, like, Crystal's really new in telling her story. And we're so proud of her on this is actually happening for being able to do it. But this is all like such a new adventure for her. I really want for her to be able to move so many people with her story. I hope that she continues to just keep getting out there and telling her story because it's such a powerful one, and it's just fascinating to me to think that she had to learn the vocabulary to be able to explain it and understand it. I wrote this note, treat yourself like someone you love.
Mm-hmm. I wrote that down too.
People won't love you? Fuck them. Love yourself. It's so trite to bring up pickleball
Oh,
again.
here we go.
But
Now
it
I'm
it
interested.
is my orbit these days. I get so down on myself when I fuck up, but when I see when I see you or Judy do the same thing, when I see you, like, get down on yourself or, like, Judy get down on herself, I hate it. I hate it.
I know.
Uh,
I hate it when you get down. That's what I was saying.
and I just think to myself, "Don't talk that way to my friend."
I know. You're being mean.
So I need to keep remembering that. When you fuck up, I don't think bad about you.
I
I
know.
don't think anything about you.
Well, because it's like a one-off too. It's like, oh, you just made a like little thing.
It's not like that's what you do.
That's not who you are.
Yeah.
And we all make mistakes. I make mistakes all the time. We all do.
So why would I think that about myself?
You're putting all this pressure on yourself.
Yeah. So the message here is be kind to yourself for trying. Keep showing up. Kick out the negative talk and believe. I mean, honestly, truly, just if you just keep showing up, I keep hearing this in the zeitgeist, like, make it a practice. It's my practice. It's my practice. It's my practice. You know what happens if you practice a lot?
You get good.
In theory, yeah.
But yeah, I like what she says about treating herself like someone she actually loves.
Yeah.
I think throughout her childhood, throughout her life, she was kept looking for someone to protect her, to love her, right? And she just couldn't find someone.
Yeah.
It wasn't her mom, it wasn't her dad, it wasn't these dudes
Yeah.
she was dating. She just couldn't find someone, right? Then I mean, by the end here, we're realizing it was her all along.
Yeah.
So that's great.
Yeah.
But you wish that she had realized that earlier, but
I
the
mean,
journey.
some people never realize it. It's
Yeah.
the hardest thing to learn. It's the hardest thing to practice.
It's hard when you're a kid.
It's a thing to say, and it sounds so, like,
Really don't.
cliche, but you don't really know what it means, I remember when I was getting divorced, I was at the Dairy Queen drive-through with my sister Katy, who's now a pastor, and she's like, "You should just give it to God," and I was like, "I don't know what that means."
Said, "What? My coffee? What are you talking about? I bought this for me. Should there a
How do I give it to him, and what's gonna happen then?
I don't know.
Dairy Queen,
Okay, sorry. I don't.
blizzards,
Oh, blizzards.
dip
I'm
cone.
sorry. I'm not from
Dairy Queen.
Dairy Queen.
Let's talk really quick about her relationship to her kids. She's sober for 2 years and hadn't seen them and went to see them in person and apologized and asked for their forgiveness. What do you think about that, T?
I
Uh,
love this.
can I say this real quick? I know I just asked
Yeah,
you,
yeah, then now you're
but she's already infinitely 1,000 times better
infinitely
than her own mother was.
already.
That is how she's
Yeah.
broken the cycle. But you say you, T.
I love what she says. She took radical responsibility. And it is. Gosh. I mean, everything that happened. I love this. Everything she says, like, she asks for permission to talk about it because this is sensitive.
Yeah.
Hey, is now a good time? Can we talk about it? If you don't want to talk about it, we don't have to talk about it. Because
Yeah.
if there's another time to talk about it, we can talk about it then. Whatever you want to see. You know what I mean? I love that.
Yeah.
You know, because maybe they don't want to talk about it or they're not ready to talk about it.
Yeah.
You know, we can also just go get a burger.
Yeah.
I mean, it's so loving.
Yeah.
And I just, I wish, you know,
That her mom would give her the same grace that would be so open to her.
I was talking about myself, but
Oh.
yeah, I wish, yeah.
With your kids?
No, I was talking about
Your
my
mom.
parents.
Oh,
Yeah, I was
right.
talking about my parents. But yeah, like for her mom as well. I mean, for all of us and our parents and the conversations we would have liked to have with
Yeah.
our parents, just having like an honest conversation about the past and all the times we were like, wait, what the fuck were you talking about when you said that? Because like
Yeah.
that sucked, you know?
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
then instead of like my mom being like, that's enough, you know? Like, but what? Oh, I just want to know what the hell you're saying, you know?
Yeah.
Like it'd be nice to know
Yeah.
what the fuck is wrong with you, you know?
No,
Like that. But really, but you know what I mean?
and it's fascinating too, like, I and my sister
Sorry, that's not how I should approach it. That's actually the wrong way
well,
because that's not.
what I was gonna say
Yeah.
is my sister and I have kindly approached our mother with maybe subtle indictments about things.
good.
And what she does is she completely breaks down in
Oh, Steve.
tears and
Oh,
sadness,
no.
and which is not
No. Oh,
the response we're looking for, but she is really she has the ability to be really apologetic and frank and you know she's willing to take accountability for things that she doesn't even have to. Like there can be like a middle ground. It doesn't have to be like completely avoid it or completely like I'll take responsibility for everything. Like it's just about conversation. But I think
yeah.
that generation though of my mom and Crystal's mom and your mom,
My mom actually does that too, the totally crying
yeah,
too.
it's like no one ever taught them
The language, the vocabulary.
the
It's
vocab.
not there. They just have the deep guilt.
And they're actually, I think, surprised to be confronted, and they don't know how to handle it
Because
their parents were even worse than them.
ah,
And
no
talk about,
way.
like, hiding things away and shame and
You
secrecy.
don't even know what the F happened
Yeah.
with that.
Oh, and they'll never talk about it. They'll take it to the grave with them.
There's no way. I have no idea what happened there.
Same, yeah.
And it's probably bad.
So all we can do is generationally
Yeah.
keep undoing trauma, keep undoing secrecy, keep trying to shine light into dark spaces, do what you can, pass on different things to your kids. That's all you can do. You know,
That's the hope. That's what I want to do in this house.
you're doing it, man. What do you think about her thanking her abuser for saving her life? Well, let me back up for a second.
Well, thank you for being a decent human, like a normal person who should have done that and not hesitated for even a second.
Word.
Is that what she should have said? Is that what you're saying?
Yes, that's what I was saying.
Okay.
I was excited to hear though that she doesn't keep up with her Alaskan family.
Yeah.
I'm a big believer in cutting family the fuck out.
I am all about it.
Cut you
Oh
out.
my God.
Consider yourself cut.
It's so easy for me.
Yeah, you just
Cut
cut.
it out. Full house.
Yeah.
No, really.
Yeah, no, yeah. No, I was so proud of her that she said that. No, I think that it is a deep, passionate grace and love and consideration that Crystal has, that she's able to set aside her pain at the hands of her abuser to separate that from the act of him just stepping up for a minute
Mm.
to be a human.
He
And
still hesitated.
I know, but to douse
Oh,
to
thank you for being human.
yeah,
Sorry.
but he did do that. He did do it.
He did not do. I mean, he did not do it. I guess is what you're saying.
But I'm saying fuck him. I'm saying it speaks volumes about Crystal,
Yes.
that she sees that act as important,
Yes.
and she's able to separate it out from the
Yes.
rest and say, I thank you for that act. That's a big fucking person to be able to do that. And
I'll
why?
say this.
Wow.
Oh, just because my mom popped me out and her sister popped you out doesn't mean you and me have to be the best of friends. You know what I'm saying? And we share blood. There's no reason why. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, I agree.
Why are we doing this? Just because we share some sort of what?
Hashtag family.
Hashtag chosen family.
Quarter mile at a time.
What's that mean?
Oh, I live life a quarter mile at a time. That was something they said on
Like a half marathon thing?
that was something they said on Fast and the Furious franchise. But that's all about chosen family.
Oh, good.
Yeah. So basically, to sum up, Crystal survived the unimaginable. She's smart. She's self-aware. She's hilarious. And she's going to be okay. It costs a lot of money to look this good. So let's go show them. Did you love that last line?
I did love
I
it.
loved it.
I did love it.
She has such a good sense of humor about this, y'all. Laugh or die.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what Trauma Bonded is about. Laugh or die. Crystal, you are our kin, and we are endlessly in awe of you. Thank you. Thank you for listening. This has been an episode of Trauma Bonded. You can find our show where podcasts are kept. Please rate and review us. Thanks to Crystal for sharing their story and giving us the opportunity to talk about it. And thanks to the This Is Actually Happening team, including Whit, Missildine, and Andrew Waits, and the maker of our website and music, Nathaniel Triboli. And thanks to Cathy Sites for editing this episode. Please subscribe to us on YouTube. Find us on Gmail and Instagram. Consult the show notes for all that shit, you guys. We are trauma bonded to the story, to the storyteller, to the listeners, and to each other. Thanks for spending time with us today. Love you, T.
Love you, Elly. Good job. Hey, thank you.
Hey, thank you. Okay. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Trauma Bonded.